Hi Gypsies, this is Joy and I'm doing a pick a card reading. How do I get my sister to forgive me? So I grew up with a whole bunch of sisters, so I know exactly how this feels. We're going to be answering questions. What do you think happened? What your sister thinks happened? And then what really happened. And they can vary widely. And then we're going to look at how does your sister feel right now? How do you feel right now? And what do you want from your sister? What your sister wants from you? And finally, what is going to make it right between the two of you? Now, at the beginning of the readings, I'm also going to do a channel to see what comes in on this particular situation between you and your sister. And then at the end, I will do a Reiki meditation prayer for you, okay? You're going to have 3 pouches to choose from. And the first one is this it's a faux snakeskin, like a mosaic fabric. And then you're going to have this swirly kind of fabric pouch. And then lastly, another like a caramel kind of snakeskin. So go ahead and pick your pouch and let's begin. Hi Gypsies, you are group 1. You chose this mosaic kind of pouch. It's pretty fabric, isn't it? All right, so what we're going to first start, well, let's open the pouch first, and then I will do the channel, okay? All right, so we've got our cards here, and we've got our bric-a-brac. Well, I can see right now, without even pulling out the tarot cards, this is a tangled mess between you and your sister. That's what I'm seeing. I've got 2 stones that I chose, well, blindly. I didn't see what they were going to, but do you see how different they are? And this, I believe, talks about you and your sisters. You and your sister. You think about things differently. You're just very different people. Nothing wrong with differences, because as long as you know how to work with them, you can become a very powerful duo against the world. Okay? You can help each other if you learn how to work with each other. All right? And yeah, wow. This almost feels to me like a bite out of an apple. Some kind of a poison. This feels, what's going on right now feels very poisonous. Okay? I don't know if words were said that maybe either you or your sister wished that you had taken back. Really horrible, horrible words. And I'm feeling like if you all were able to just really talk before this incident happened, if you could just talk to each other and be honest with each other, I don't believe any of this would have happened, because you would have felt like you could just talk, air your grievances without being nasty to each other, but just, talk to each other. And you wouldn't have felt like you had to, like, either you or your sister had to say this really ugly thing or things, and maybe both of you said them, but they wouldn't be necessary because you would have learned how to communicate. Okay? So, as with most things, this does come down to communication. And this is something you probably want to take care of now, if it's possible. Okay? There's nothing wrong to agreeing to disagree. And it sounds like you guys are very different. And you can just air your grievances and say, yes, we're different, but vive la différence, or however you say that in French. All right, let's start the channel. Mm. Okay. I'm getting a lot of emotional jealousy. I'm getting that very strongly, and I'm feeling like this situation has to deal with a man that either one or the other of you was attracted to. And the man doesn't even feel like a very special man. Not like either one of you or your sister would be terribly in love with. It was more like what he symbolizes, which would be he desires one or the other of you. And it became like a contest. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at some of this. All right. Let's see what kind of scent. Oh, here we go. Ylang Lang provides release from feelings of depression and anxiety while relaxing the body and soul and inducing feelings of joy. The oil is also one of the best aphrodisiacs, and it induces feelings of warmth and sensuality. Very nice. Here we go. Nice. Okay. All right. Now, as I said, we've got purple and pink. Oh, purple and pink. Aren't those colors commonly liked by young girls? Purple and pink. All right. I believe this one, the purple one, of course, I believe that is an amethyst. Let's go ahead and take a look. Okay. It is an amethyst. The purple stone is said to be incredibly protective, healing, and purifying. It can help with negative thoughts and bring forth humility, sincerity, and spiritual wisdom. All right. Now this pink one, which is also very pretty, I believe that is, let's see, that's B6. That's a rose quartz, and they also call that mothering stone. It's a stone of universal love. It restores trust and harmony, and in relationships, encouraging unconditional love. It purifies and opens the heart. Purifies and opens the heart. Okay. So this is what I'm getting. I'm getting that this rose quartz is for you. Okay? And that's why this is bothering you so much, because you have a very giving, loving, warm heart, and to know that somebody that is a sister and you would like to be close to them, this is just killing you. And I'm feeling too that, at least for some of you, you might be the party that your sister is jealous of. And you're fully aware of that. It feels like you're a spiritual person and you're very in tune with your feelings. And you might have a hard time expressing them, but you know. You know that she's jealous. Okay. Let's go ahead and bring out these tarot cards. Now, we're going to first look at what you think happened in this situation that caused this rift, and then what your sister thinks happened. Okay? All right. So I'm feeling like there were words. Now this is what you're thinking. There were words that were shouted on each side, and it created this. Just broke your heart. And I wouldn't be surprised if you're even crying about it. This is just something that's devastating to you. I think before, with your relationship with your sister, you had fights and all that, but nothing like this. It's like all the ugliness came out. Okay, now this is her view of it, okay? This is upside down. Oh, this is interesting that it's also a 3 card. 3 of Cups, and there's that guy. There he is. Love. You're thinking of more the words that cause the rift. She's thinking it more as the guy. And it's interesting that they're showing her with the dark hair here. And this is the darker stone here. I'm feeling like, at least for some of you, you've got like lighter complexion and she's darker. And okay, this is a dream of hers, okay? She feels like this is what you have. You have all the love, you have all the adoration from your friends, all the love, all the adoration of men. And she's alone. This is upside down. It feels like she thinks that you've got everything and you don't even appreciate it. You don't even try. This might be definitely a conversation that would be great for you guys to have. Even if it comes out very uncomfortable at first, for her to be able to say to you, you have everything and I have nothing. At least it's said then. Get it out. Get it out. It's always worse when it comes out because it's overflowing. Get it out of you so that you're emptied out of it. Let the other person know how you really feel. You don't have to use the profanity and all that. Not necessary. Just say what you're feeling. Just say it. And sometimes you don't want to say it because you're embarrassed. You're embarrassed because they will know that you're jealous of them, that you have low self-esteem, but you don't realize how helpful it is for the other person to know how you're feeling, because you might be very surprised at how they share some of the feelings that you have. You might be surprised if you come out with the honesty first, especially if she's not coming out with honesty. And you, like I said, careful with your words. No profanity is needed because it's just going to escalate the situation. So you just say, can we talk? And you just start being honest. And spill your guts and let her know how self-conscious you are, or how you really feel about things that you know she doesn't realize. Let her know. Okay, and you might just be very surprised at how she comes out with honesty too. Okay, so that was how you guys felt about the situation that caused this rift. Okay, you're thinking it's more about words, and she's thinking it's about how you have everything. Okay, all right, now let's look at the real situation, really what's going on. Okay, and I'm feeling here that this is about jealousy. Oh my gosh, I just realized that. Wow. Now what I think is so cool about this, 3 swords, 3 cups, and 3 pentacles. That's okay, that's significant. The 3 card is also about the Empress, okay? And that's a major arcana card, and it shows a woman that you might not realize, but she's pregnant. She's all in green. There's green all around her. She's in a garden. It's all about abundance and love. And I'm feeling like, especially with this 3, you know how they say 3 is a crowd? There's a real significance here about a rift between you two. You're one, she's one, and then there's something like right in the center causing this rift. Now, in this case, I do believe what it's talking about is, and the Empress also talks about creativity as well. And I'm feeling like in this case, it's just jealousy all the way through. It's not just about the guy. It's about the fact that you are very creative. People admire you. They admire your work. And it feels like she is watching this scene of you being admired from a distance. She sees it. And it causes this rift between you two. And I'm getting the feeling, at least for some of you, you're psychic. You know this, okay? You know this. And deep down inside, you're pretending you don't notice it. Okay? And I'm feeling like if you would just... she's also creative. Is it possible that you could look at what she creates and honestly talk to her about what she's creating and compliment her on what you honestly think is good? I mean, don't lie, but compliment her and talk a little bit about the differences in your work and how that's sort of magical. And have you ever considered that maybe you could work on a project together? Is it possible that you are just enjoying the limelight so much that you don't want to share it? Is that possible with some of you? Something to think about. But I'm feeling like with all these 3s, it's you, her, and bam, something in the middle. Just totally putting a bar between you two. Okay. All right. Now let's look at how your sister feels right now. Well, how you feel right now, and then how your sister feels right now. Okay. The Hermit. This is your card. And 6 of Pentacles. All right. Well, one thing that I'm noticing right now is that these 2 cards face different directions. You're not seeing eye to eye. Okay? And this is your card. Do you see how ramrod straight that is? In this case, I'm feeling stubbornness, at least for some of you. And you are looking for answers because this is really bothering you because of how you are this mothering stone. This does bother you. So you are looking for answers. And I'm feeling like for her, she feels like for a lot of her life, she's had to beg you for compliments, for attention. It feels like she might be a younger sister. And she doesn't want to do that anymore. She feels like you hold all the pinnacles. And she wants some of those. She's getting older and it just doesn't feel fair to her anymore. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely does feel that way. She doesn't feel like she wants to beg you anymore. It feels like she wants to change the dynamic between you and her. Okay? So she is getting older. She's sort of embarrassed about how she was treated in the past, like the silly younger sister. And so now she feels like she wants some recognition as well. And, nothing wrong with that, really. I'm feeling like for your card too, you're only looking in a little area to be illuminated, okay? You're not lighting up the entire area to look at all the things that could solve this situation. You're just looking at this little bit. And I'm feeling stubbornness in this card, at least for some of you. You're used to being top dog, and it's hard to give some of that up. Okay. Let's see. Now we're going to look at a card. What do you want from your sister, and what your sister wants from you? All right, Two of Pentacles. This is your card, Two of Pentacles. And the Devil card. This is her card. All right, I'm feeling like for her, do you see how the Devil seems to be holding these puppets as a marionette? And this is how she's feeling like. You know how I mentioned this is her card, how she felt like she was a beggar to you? Well, I'm feeling like here she doesn't want to be manipulated by you or anyone else. She feels like she's older now. She knows what's going on, and she wants to be her own person. This is what she's thinking, okay? She wants to be respected for herself. Okay? Now, it sort of feels with this card that it may be, at least for some of you, that in the past, this sister may have been somebody that you could sort of tease and have fun with. And that's what you want. You want to continue what's been going on for years and years. I mean, this has been fun for you and so forth. Okay? So she feels like she doesn't want to be controlled anymore. She wants to be her own person, and she wants to be respected for the person that she is. And it looks like, at least for some of you, you want to keep the status quo in your family with your sister. Okay? All right. So this really technically isn't about, this guy, because neither one of you really even care about the guy that much. It's just sort of what he represents. She wants respect from you. Patience and planning. This is what will make it right between the two of you. Patience and planning. This is upside down, by the way. So, oh, that's really interesting. Okay. Patience and planning. Do you see these two columns? You and your sister. You and your sister. And this thing that was between you two starting to fade. So I believe what this is saying is this rift is not going to be healed all of a sudden. It's going to take careful planning and patience on your part, and really her too. I'm feeling like this is saying you need to really think about this situation and how you'll talk to her, how you'll have the conversation, and really be honest with yourself too. Especially if you are the one that's used to getting all the compliments, all the praise, all the adulation, you might seriously think to yourself, okay, what's wrong with bringing her with me and saying, okay, I might be great at this particular craft or whatever, but what about her? Look at what she did. And I think that might really start to move things around, honestly. If you are willing to share with her your great fortune, because apparently you've been very blessed with your gifts. And it may be the way you look, maybe you're very attractive, maybe you're at ease talking with people, I don't know. But it feels like you've got a lot. And it would be wonderful to share that with her. Okay, and that will evaporate this thing that's between you. And then we've got the two columns standing straight and tall without anything in between. And you can hold up a very heavy roof together. Okay, which the roof would signify, beating the odds of dealing with the world, the heavy weight of the world. You can lean on each other. That's a beautiful message, actually. So what I would suggest is I will put in the comment area the communication course that I know of, but certainly I'm sure there are other ones. You can take these things online, but it sounds like you would do well to learn how to communicate with your sister effectively without escalating the situation and in a loving and kind way. And you can still disagree, but you can treat your sister with respect and fix this rift. And who knows, you all could very likely, if you're able to do this, if you're able to supersede this, what's going on, you could become a very strong force yourselves and against the world. I mean, against anything that could harm you from the world. You could stand together and be strong. Okay? All right, Gypsies, that was nice. Group 1. Oh, let's go ahead and do our Reiki meditation. Okay. So Gypsies, go ahead and lean back in your chair and relax. All right. So I want you to imagine a chair next to you. And it's not too far away from you. It's only a couple of inches. And you're sitting there with your eyes closed, and all of a sudden you feel a hand on yours, and you open your eyes, and it's your sister. And she's looking at you. She's not really sure how you'll react. And you can see the unsurety in her eyes, and you smile at her and let her know it's okay and that you're glad she's there. And then she relaxes and she closes her eyes, and you close your eyes too, and you give her hand a gentle squeeze to let her know it's okay. All right. Okay, Gypsies, that's nice. That's nice. I will see you in a couple of days. Bye, Gypsies. Hi, Gypsies. You are group 2. You chose this swirly pouch, Microsuede. And let's see what we've got inside. There's our tarot cards. And let's see what else we've got. All right, let's see what scent that we should spray. Wow, the Ylang Lang provides release from feelings of depression and anxiety while relaxing the body and soul and inducing feelings of joy. The oil is also one of the best aphrodisiacs as it induces feelings of warmth and sensuality. So let's go ahead and spray this. Okay. It's interesting that Ylang Lang, it's sort of, to me, it represents the sisters, two sisters. All right. I'm looking at this that came in the pouch, and it feels like this is the circle of you and your sister that's been broken. There's something in between both halves of you and your sister. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Oh, and actually I'm feeling like with this little fish charm here, it feels like what's happened between the two of you is starting to stink. I don't know how long ago it happened, but the longer that you go without taking part in fixing this, the worse it's going to feel. Okay. And actually we've got this here. This always reminds me of crafts and creativity. It looks like it's got, it talks about the two of you, and it feels broken. It feels like it was at one time, especially with crafts, something you worked on together, and it broke. All right. Let's do a channel and see what comes in. All right. You know, this was odd. I saw almost what looked like, you know, a deck of cards and the king. It felt like that, like a cartoonish king, and he was taking your, well, this is what you're feeling, is he's taking your sister away from you, and you feel very much out of the cold. It feels like you two grew up very close to each other. Very simpatico. You helped each other. You respected each other. And it feels like you feel now like you're left out in the cold. Okay. Let's look at these stones here. Okay. I have to put on my glasses for this one. For some reason I can't see it. Okay, B6. All right, and this is a pink stone. B6. All right, this is a rose quartz, stone of universal love. It restores trust and harmony in relationships. Encouraging unconditional love, purifies and opens the heart at all levels to promote love, self-love, friendship, deep inner healing, and feelings of peace. All right. Now this one might be opalite, I think. Okay. C5. It's an opalite. Subtle yet highly energetic. Ideal for meditation. Opalite improves communication on all levels, especially the spiritual. It removes energy blockages of the chakras and meridians, helps when making changes, gives us persistence and strength to verbalize our feelings. Wow. You know, this feels like, and actually this feels like a pair that you would want to use to meditate with. in your left hand to meditate with, to help you with this situation with your sister, to know how to talk, to know what to say, to know how to verbalize. That's great. Wow. It almost feels like your guides are giving you the solution to what you should be doing to fix this situation. That's cool. All right, so how do I get my sister to forgive me? All right. Now, this card here is your card. What do you think happened? The Moon upside down, Major Arcana. This is her card. The Devil. All right, 2 Major Arcana. Okay, it feels like you guys both strongly believe in your viewpoints, okay? So I'm feeling like she was sort of the gentler sister, and you're sort of the artsy, go by the seat of your pants kind of gal. And this road in between you, do you see how it separated both of you? You guys were both together, you were both very different, but you walked the same path, and now all of a sudden this went right in between you, this road. And actually it might even be this lobster or crab that's coming out of the water. Now, okay. All right. Now, as far as her card, I believe that she's thinking that this man that she's in love with, she thinks that you think that he's causing all the problems. And that's probably pretty accurate. So in her mind, this is what she thinks that you think about this situation. She thinks that you think that he's manipulating everything, manipulating her, trying to manipulate you. And she thinks that's the crux of the matter. She thinks that's the problem. And actually, now that I think about it, that is what you think. You think you two are just great together, and he's the interloper. So you guys are, I guess I'm not surprised. You guys do think alike. All right. So this is the overreaching card, talking about your childhood, talking about how gentle you all were with each other. Look at these flowers given to the one sister. I don't know if you're the older or the younger, or maybe even a twin. I don't know. What I'm feeling like with this is, yes, kindness and respect, but there's an X right here. So what I'm getting with this is all this wonderful kindness, respect, and all that from your childhood is being negated by this X, by this incident. So it's like this overreaching card is sort of saying you all loved each other at one time, and you're letting the whole thing go by the wayside with this one incident. Now we're going to look now at how you feel about your sister right now and how your sister feels about you right now. Okay? So this is your card. This is upside down. This is 9 of Swords. Four of Wands, and this is her card. All right, now with this 9 of Swords, which is your card, I can feel very strongly that it's like you don't even know what happened to this wonderful relationship between you and your sister. You regret some of the things that you said to her in your anger, but you're so hurt, and all you can think about is how hurt and lonely that you are. It just hurts so bad. And so when this card is upside down, it's indicating to me that you're not opening up your field. All you can feel is yourself. You don't see anything else. You don't see maybe how your sister really needs this man. You're so like this with your pain, and it's not letting in anyone else, including your sister. And it feels like she may have been trying to talk to you a couple of times, and you just can't even talk to her. Okay? At least for some of you. Now I'm feeling like with her card right here, this feels like a happiness, joy kind of card. So she feels like you feel like this person in the middle, and she's here with her crown on. Her boyfriend or whatever he is over here on the other side. And they're ready to sail off into this happy kind of place, and you're trying to get between them. You've got these soldiers to help you. And that might even be friends or family members that she can get on her side, or to stop this, right? But your sister doesn't understand why you're trying to create a rift between her and this person that she's in love with, and you're not willing to talk about it. Look at this stance, a very, very strong stance. And and it sort of feels like with the elbows out like that, they're pointy, and so if you try and get close to the person with the pointy elbows, you're going to get pricked. So she's feeling like this person in red is you, causing these problems for her. Wow. Okay. Let's look at what you want from your sister and what your sister wants from you. Okay. What you want from your sister. 3 of Cups. And it's upside down, by the way. Okay. And the Hangman upside down. Okay, I'm getting this very strongly. Number 1, of course, you want it to go back to the way it was, the happiness, the celebration of you two in the past. This is what you want. And she, the Hangman, she wants you to change your mind. She wants you to change your mind about being miserable and sad and wanting things to go back to exactly the way they were. She wants you to change your mind. Okay? Simply. What will make things right between the two of you? Okay. What I'm first feeling with this is the Strength card, power, okay? So your energy, at least for some of you, in this anger, okay, this really, really intense anger, and maybe you don't even really understand where this is coming from, but it's intense anger, and what I keep hearing is you're not listening. And so you want to fix this. You want to redirect this anger that you're feeling. Redirect it into something else, whether it be a creative project or whatever. But learn to do things either with another friend, develop another friendship, or to learn to be in your own power. Learn to do these activities by yourself, because your sister is going to be with this person that she's chosen. And I know you may feel like you've been replaced, because this wild side of you feels like is going to be replaced with this other person, this man that she's with. And in order to salvage your relationship, you need to listen to her. You need to change your mind about how you're feeling. You need to widen your scope of attentiveness and awareness past just yourself. You need to get over this miserableness, and listen. You need to listen to her. And that's going to go real far if you can just sit down with her and just say, especially if she feels like she's the injured party, like you are trying to break them up, you might try this. Sit her down with you, and if you can, just apologize, but not just apologize. Let her say her piece. And let her say it. Don't interrupt. Don't tell her she's wrong. Don't tell her where she's wrong. Just listen. And it might take a little bit of humility, but just listen to the whole thing and don't interrupt. And when she gets it out, that's going to really help a lot. Now, she might need a little bit of time to see that you really have, changed your mind. But just tell her that you'll always be there for her, and you'll always be sisters, and you'll always love her. And that should go a pretty far way, because she strikes me as somebody that's a very loving, kind person. She's just hurt herself because, in the past, you did have such a loving, caring relationship. And that's also devastating to her, to see that it's not like that right now. So I think that would really help a lot. Now, I do have I believe it's the Art of Communication. It's in the comments area. You might want to take a look at that and maybe get an online course talking about how to communicate. But that could help a lot too. But if she can just feel like you really are hearing her, because it feels like she thinks that you are not paying attention to what she's saying, and that's going to go really, really far. Listen to her. Listen to what she has to say. And that could really, really fix this. All right. Please relax in your chairs. Let's go ahead and do a Reiki meditation, okay? So here you are seated, and I want you to think back to one of your fond memories that you had with your sister, where you had a lot of fun. I can hear children laughing right now. Two sisters laughing and thinking things are really fun. Did you do something mischievous together? Did you create an art project together? Did you help each other with homework? Just think about your favorite memory and how she's your most favorite person in the world. And she can still be your favorite person in the world. You don't want to lose that. And when you listen to her and really hear what she's saying, you show her all the love that you're feeling for her out of respect. And imagine yourself doing that, just sitting in the chair, and she's pouring out her heart, and maybe she even cries because she's so happy that you're listening to her. And then you cry too, just because you've had a release. And your heart chakra is open now. And her heart chakra is open. And they meet together. And the energy mixes together. And you're friends again. Okay? All right, gypsies. Thank you. I will see you for the next reading in a couple of days. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. Bye. Hi, Group 3. This is Joy. You chose the caramel colored animal skin, kind of faux animal skin pouch. And we're answering the question, how do I get my sister to forgive me? All right, so let's go ahead and open our pouch, see what we've got in here. Okay, we've got our tarot cards. And then let's dump out what we've got in here as well. See what else we've got. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and see what kind of scent we have here. It's frankincense, helping to relieve chronic stress and anxiety, reducing pain and inflammation, and boosting immunity. Okay, let's see. It's the first time I've sprayed this one. Oh, that is an unusual smell. I like that. I don't know how to describe that. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, first of all, I'm looking at the two stones here, and they're not really complementary stones from what I can see. I mean, there's definitely a contrast between the two of them, but I don't know that you'd put the two together in a pattern or a fabric. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. You guys are very different. Maybe not complementary. B7. Okay, let's see what that is. And I'm looking at this stone right here. I believe it's a yellow jade, but let's take a look. B7. It's a yellow jade associated with fire energy, which is oriented to oriented to identity, ego, and self-definition. It instills optimism, enthusiasm, wisdom, and intellect. It is aligned with the sun and the planet Mars. So I'm wondering if some of you out there are Aries. Yeah, that's a definite, very striking color. Now this other one is two colors. It's green and purple, which is very pretty. F5. This is a green ruby zoisite, and let's see, ruby is the stone of courage and strength and purges any fear or anxiety that sits within us daily, and green zoisite's energy produces growth and fertility in all aspects of life. You know, I can feel sort of the contention right now when you're looking at this, okay? And this is Mars fire energy. All right, and this one here, the purple in it, is also a very strong kind of fiery energy. I can see where there's going to be a little bit of a problem. Okay, two very strong individuals, okay, and maybe go about things a little different way, but they're still very, very strong, fiery kind of symbols. Colors. All right, let's do a brief channel on this particular reading, okay? Well, what I just felt like I was drawing there, you know, back and forth and back and forth, it felt like waves. It felt like waves that were a little crazy and could knock you over. And it felt like your sister was on a very unstable body of water. She was upset and sad, and she knew that the waves could do something to her, but she didn't care. She just had to get away from negativity, so she went on this water anyway. Wow. Yeah, that's a little sad. Okay. So we're going to first look at what you think happened and what your sister thinks happened. Page of Wands. And this is her card. 5 of Pentacles. So I'm feeling really, I can feel this scenario. It feels like, at least for some of you, your sister went off and did something impulsive and got hurt. Either she went in with a group that were dangerous and got her in a bad situation. Maybe they stole her money. She was too trusting, and she was too trusting. It looks like they took advantage of her. But it feels like she left the safety of her family and did that. And at this point, she's not ready to admit that she had any responsibility in what happened. And you care about her. That's why you argued. And you may have said some things that really hit below the belt with her, but you thought you were just being honest. Okay, so I'm feeling like with this card, you were just examining her situation and telling her the truth. Okay? And her card here, I feel like she's saying, I was a victim, I was put upon, these people took advantage of me, I didn't realize the way they were. My family makes me so crazy, that's why I left, that's your fault. So that's where we're standing. You feel like you were being honest, and she's mad at you for that. And she thinks that you were just being mean to her and you aren't sticking up for her. She's feeling like a little bit of a victim. So let's look at the overreaching card about what really happened. King of Swords, and this is upside down. Okay, so I'm feeling like with this card, especially with being upside down, is basically, yes, there's an acknowledgement that your sister is acting like a victim, but there's also acknowledgement that your words came across as not kind, but sort of lording it over her and ego-driven rather than being kind and supportive. So this is all about, what you had said to your sister. And I think you're sorry about that. I think you might not realize entirely. There's a way to get your message across without being really nasty. And it may be that this particular sister goes off on these tangents a lot, and maybe you're sick of it, and maybe these words just came out. That could be. So let's look at how you feel about your sister right now and how she feels about you. Okay? Temperance. That's your card. And, oh, how interesting. Okay. You feel like she just goes off on the deep end, and isn't that interesting? There's a water on the deep end. And she doesn't do anything by half measures. She just goes off and does things according to what you think. And she doesn't think. And she doesn't do things evenly. She just does things crazily and erratic, okay? That's what you think about her. And she thinks you're not being supportive of her. She wants you to be right behind her, telling her she was right, feeling sorry for her. That's what she wants from you. And she feels like she's not getting it from you. Okay, so let's look at what you want from your sister. Wow. Wheel of Fortune. This is upside down, and this is a major arcana. That's your card. Her card is the Five of Cups. As far as what you all want from each other, you want your sister to learn from her past mistakes and to realize that she is captain of her destiny, and to not act like a victim, like things are being done to her, that she has some responsibility. That's what you want from your sister. And your sister wants you to just not see the fallen cups when you look at her. She wants you to be able to see the cups that are standing straight and tall and that are full of water, and give her credit for the things she's done right. Don't just look at her and think of all the things that she's done wrong. That's a nice message, actually, for both of you. That's wonderful. Now, we're going to look at what will make things right between the two of you. Discontent and boredom. Now, this is upside down. You know, it feels like with this card, they're talking about the reason that your sister goes off and just does these things without any apparent thought to what could happen to her, okay? So it feels like what they're saying is when she is in one place too long, she feels like she's not moving forward, and so she just like blows out of town and just does whatever. And so, you know, both of you have got this fire within, and the yellow. So it sounds like you guys deal with it differently, however. You don't do what she's doing. And it might be helpful to talk to her about it, to encourage her to maybe seek counseling. Don't treat her like a victim, but treat her as somebody that you love and you respect, and maybe give her what she wants, where you tell her honestly. I mean, don't lie and make up stuff, but you know, acknowledge the things that she's done right. Acknowledge the parts of her personality that you think are really wonderful. Let her know the things about her that you value, and encourage her to talk to somebody that could maybe give her ideas to make her life more fulfilling. And isn't it interesting that the colors in this, purple and green, isn't that interesting? So yeah, it's not going to say that this is perfect, because you guys really are very, very different. But you're sisters, and you obviously love her, and you know, regret maybe some of the things that you had said to her, and you want to make things right. But she needs to feel empowered and not like a victim, and understand that she controls herself and her destiny. And that's what's needed here. So, you know, you can't fix her, but you can certainly guide her and help her that way, and see if maybe she'll accept that. And she may. But the thing is, too, is to give her the respect of an apology. Because without saying this is what you're doing when you apologize and when you mean it. You're saying that you respect them enough where you want to acknowledge where you did something that was disrespectful, and you're sorry for that. And that's going to make her feel that much more elevated, that you respect her enough to say, I'm sorry. And I think that would certainly help things along a lot if you did that. Okay. Let's see. And I see this feather with the gold tip. And this almost feels like your sister. She just sort of floats around. Help her become more grounded. Okay? All right, gypsies, let's go ahead and do a little bit of a Reiki meditation here. So go ahead and lean back in your chair and relax. And look at those two colors before you, the yellow-orange, that very strong jade color, and the other purple and green stone. And they're both beautiful, separate, and together they look beautiful too because they contrast each other. You can be fire together. See fire coming out of both of the stones and warming you up when you're cold. Because even though the colors are different, you still get fire from both, and fire still warms both of you. And turn to her and think of the ways that you respect her. Think of what she's done in the past that you think is really great, and you tell her what those things are. And you honestly tell her about how much you value her as a person. And she might be a little teary-eyed, and she'll blush a little bit because she's not used to this kind of attention. And she'll say thank you. And you take her hand and you squeeze it. And then you both lean back in your chair and relax because you're fire together. All right. Well, thank you, gypsies. If you like this reading, please give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Bye.